So today I wanted to do a pick a card, and I have chosen from this. Well, now it's turned around, but it is named Work Your Light Oracle Cards from Rebecca Campbell. It's very beautiful and etheric cards, and I have made this photo in the thumbnail of the video, but otherwise I'll just show you the 4 cards. So this is number 1. Trust the niggle. Card number 2. Council of Light. Number 3. Take a break. And number 4. Warrior Woman. So they fell out, and I will channel for each pile. Or it's not a pile, because I just channel out of the message that comes from the 1 card. So here is card number 1. Trust the niggle. And what I am channeling, I call it higher consciousness or deeper consciousness. Sometimes it comes about like galactic beings or angels or ascended masters or whatever. It just feels like a change in the energy. But most of all, I just let whatever come through. So the underlying of the card number 1, trust the niggle. What is the niggle trying? What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So you, dear one, you are, and you know you are, both the innocent child. The innocent child that is light at heart, innocent. Just put into a world with so overwhelming feelings and sensations of anything. It is like everything is so overwhelming because you sense it so deeply. And sometimes you find yourself covered up in not your own stuff, but other people's stuff. And it feels like thoughts and feelings, happenings, actions, all these shoulds and how things are supposed to be, what you are supposed to say and do. And you know now you have come a long way on your path that you, at one hand, you have nothing to do with it because you are the innocent child. On the other hand, you are co-creating the mess. The fussiness, the noise. It is not on purpose that you sometimes feel the niggle inside of you, and perhaps you have this difficulty explaining, is it from the outside or is it from the inside? The niggling feeling, is it because I must point my finger on something on the outside so I can take care of myself? Or should I point my finger to my inside so I can take care of myself? And we would like you to know that you do not need to point any fingers. And now comes the clarity in, because it doesn't matter where it comes from. The niggling feeling tells you that you must find peace in your own system, no matter what is around you. These old feelings of the world is an overload for me. You are now at a time and place where you can break free from that imprisonment in the world. You are no longer a subject of suffering. You are not the victim. You can still have the tendency to feel like the victim, like the innocent child that feels that the world is too big, too heavy, too much. But you can dig deep inside of your innocent soul. And no matter where you point your finger, it just crumbles and relaxes into peace. And you can see everything in your surroundings as if it is just falling apart before your eyes. Because that niggling feeling had nothing to do with what was surrounding you, and it had nothing to do with what was inside of you. When you go to this deep level of consciousness, there is no niggling feeling, because you surrender into listening before it gets tough, listening before it's even a niggle. And you just flow with it. You just let yourself move with it, with the world around you and inside of you, because it is one and the same. So when you know your own innocence, and when you know your own joy, and when you know that you are that child that is no longer a child, you are now matured into this very sovereign being that is neither a child nor a parent. It's timeless. You are spaceless. And sometimes you fall out of that consciousness into the place of niggling feelings, where it feels like you must point fingers to blame somebody or yourself. But that is just the illusion that you are ready to break out of. And what do you break out of into? What do you break into? You break into deep breathing and calmness and peace and the universal love that is the life force itself, where love has nothing to do with anyone around you, not even yourself. Love is not a thing you can do from this consciousness. When you are in this consciousness, love is a state of being. It's an energy, it's a frequency, it's you. You are the love that you before wanted to find somewhere, even in yourself. And that gave you the niggling feeling, because you knew that when you were not aligned, it felt not very well. It scratched you on the soul. But you are now on the brink and doing your beingness. So allow yourself to sometimes lose yourself into lower consciousness of having the urge to point fingers on something or someone outside of you, or perhaps pointing fingers on yourself, and recognize that that niggling feeling, it's just because you are out of alignment with your real nature, with your consciousness of frequency, where you are life force, having the courage to go with every step on the way. And therefore there are no niggling feelings, because you just move around as needed. You go with the flow. And when there is a niggling feeling, You know it's just because you need to dig deeper into your consciousness and move in the flow of the now. And when you do that, oh my dear friend, when you move with the speed of the now, in full presence of your deeper consciousness, that flow of life, that ease, that joy, it is a deep surrender into dynamic stillness. You are just about and ready to fall into this magnificence of life force itself living and flowing through you. Enjoy. Enjoy. So that was card number 1. And now we have card number 2 with a different message. If you chose that card, it is the Council of Light, and the underlying text is Divine Orchestration. Help us in the subtle realms. Oh yeah. If ever you feel lost, or if ever you feel found, or if ever you are in joy, or in panic, or in sorrow, or in anger, whatever you feel, experience yourself in, you are always in us. You are human. You are our profound brother and sister on earth. You are our love in life with this human experience that some of us know because we have been there, and some of us have no clue what it is like to be physical in time and space. But we are always present, always around and inside, timeless and spaceless. So you can act out if you'd like. Be caught up in emotions. And thoughts about this and that. We will always, always, always hold you in our hand, so to speak. Calm your system. Because we are the frequency of light. And we have the information that you need whenever you are ready to hear. And of course, this is symbolically. Sometimes we do speak literally, but most of the information you get from us are non-verbal, without words. It's the inner knowing of your own deeper consciousness, because we are just symbols in your awareness, in your consciousness of what you really are made of. Can you believe this? Can you deeply believe this? That your inner knowing is our inner knowing, and it is one and the same, because we are particles of light and universal love always blended, always one, and yet you are having your individual experience. Why do you need to know this now? We know you know, but why should we remember this with you? And we have been playing with this word remember for some days now, with this lady speaking. Remember yourself into our council of light. We call it council of love and light, universal energy and universal information. Remember yourself. You are the member of this ocean of consciousness and intelligence and love. We know you are a member. You must awaken yourself into this membership and then remember yourself. Remember who you are. And with that strength and life force, powerfulness, go around in your physical life without forcing anything upon those around you. Without pushing anything any further than it is. Should we give you advice? And that means, should you give yourself advice from your higher realms, us? We are you, we are one. Sometimes you do not listen to your own higher reality. Therefore we speak through a lady like this. Therefore you feel into the signs and signals around you, but it is you telling yourself your own truth, higher truth, deeper truth, universal truth. Allow this for yourself to happen, going around in your life and see that this magnificent truth is truth for everyone. And therefore you cannot force anything upon anyone, because everybody, every living physical body, everybody is the same. You will find yourself laughing when you see this deeply. And then you have united something in yourself that was creating polarities, creating you were perhaps creating right from wrong. But that is not the deepest truth. So when you remember yourself into your own higher and deeper consciousness, you see that that is truth for everyone. And therefore now you cannot go out and force anything upon anyone, because you are the same. And you must remember oneness. It's not equal, and yet it is. But it is fine that you are different from yourself, because you are one in all your differences. And whenever you try to force anything upon anyone, you try to push to divinity, and you try and say to oneness that it is not good enough. But oneness is good enough. Oneness is all there is. Oneness is one big different experience from one person to the next. That is the fun of life. And therefore you must remember yourself into this oneness and see that your magnificence is just as magnificent than anyone else, because you are one. There's a lot to comprehend, but you are ready to surrender into this. allowing oneness to have existence and experience. Thank you for trying to understand the best you can. And when you release, you are trying to understand oneness. You are exactly where you must, or not must, but where it is nice to be. In joy with everything that exists. There's nothing wrong with oneness. It's the creation of the eternal now, always in motion. Through you as well as through everyone. Thank you. All right, that was card number 2, Council of Light. And then there's a message from card number 3, take a break. And the underlying text is, a life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. Take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. What if you shouldn't think so much? What if you are allowed from your inside, from yourself, not to think so much? What if you really were free to just live through your body? What if it was okay to breathe deeply? What if it was okay to swim in the abundance of consciousness? And then yet wake up into this physical reality and enjoy that? Having the fun of the experiment of being physical. What if it was okay that you know that you are energy and that you always also enjoy the physical reality as it is, without thinking so much about it? What if it was okay to look back at your life and see how far you have come? That deep calling from your childhood, that deep calling that made you keep up with the inner pull. What if it is okay that you still have a pull and a need to push, and yet also just stood there with it without acting upon it? Because you, my friend, our friend, have done so much. And we can hear you say, no, I've not done enough. Nothing came through in the physical. It has all been in my head. We say that's where it is for now. All that energetic work that you have been doing, it is amazing. And we love you for it. We love you for keep dreaming. We love you for keep trying. We love you for keep doing And we love you for keep being. And we say, it is time to ask, can you allow yourself to see that that has been your work? Manifesting on the energetic plane. That's all there is to it for now. Everything will be so much easier in the physical from now on. It is like when you build a house, you must make a firm foundation. And it is not to be seen when you stand on the ground, because it's underneath the ground that the real work, the very important work, the foundational work were being done. And then when that is done, it's so much easier, faster to just lay brick on brick upon that. And then you can see the building, but without the foundation, the building couldn't be stabilized. And now you have free movement, and you can make the design and architect structure as you like. You can play around with the fine elements now. It's fine to take a break. It has been heavy work. It has been with sweat and blood and tears. And we have been crying with you. And we have been working hard with you. And we have been light at heart at the same time. And you can do that too. You can be that too. Light at heart. Loving your own inner strength. You are still around. You are still here. Even though all that you have been going through has been so tough on you, you found a way. You breathed your way. You cried your way. You laughed your way. You loved your way. And then again, you cried your way. You are physical. And you are abundantly, energetically rich. We love your work. And you are so free-spirited at the same time as you have been dedicated to your work. Even though it is not always seen in the physical. Not in the amount of energy that you have been putting into things. But it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It do exist. Your hard work has been beautifully put. So what if it was okay to sit back and enjoy the hard labor turning into lightheartedness and the feeling of being free to fly, creating your beautiful nature into physical form. You can take a break. We know it's not easy because you just want to keep on, and that's fine. As long as you just do this, promise us this. Be proud of yourself and love what you have been doing. Love what you have done, seen and unseen. We have seen it all. We are proud. We love you for this. And we recognize your intelligence. even though the physical mind and the lower consciousness cannot always see your intelligence because it is much more of the universal intelligence. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what is seen in the matter. It matters what is in your heart and in your higher mind. And we are you expressed in higher consciousness, deeper consciousness. We love your work, our work. So thank you for putting energetic, higher dimensionality into matter. The best you can. That's all you can do. And the foundation has been laid. Love that. Please love that. We love with you because that's the frequency of us. That's the frequency of you. Light at heart. Higher heart. Consciousness. No matter what is seen in the matter, we are always here. So that was card number 3. Take a break. And then there is the last card, Warrior Woman. And the underlying text is, have you answered your deepest calling? Warrior Woman. Of course, this can be man or woman, male or female. No gender specific here. So have you? You have your own answers. When we asked you this, have you answered your deepest calling? When we asked you this, you knew your answer, have you? Or is there something you need to say? Something you need to do, act upon? Something you need to know so much in your forefront of your beingness that you do not need to say it, but you need to vibrate it so others around you know where they have you. It's not necessary to go around and have a fight for it. But perhaps you feel right now in your system, since you chose this card, that it is your time now to step even deeper into your calling. Not so much to make a fuss about it, and not, of course, to fight about it, but to really be that what you know you are. And to be so sure in this decision of yours, in your inner calling, in what you know your inner knowing is, that you can stand up tall and proud and warm and loving and still say, no, that is not my truth. Don't have to fight about it. Don't have to convince others to feel the same things that you, or to have the inner knowing that you have. It's just a question of you following your inner knowing and letting others follow their inner knowing. And of course, you have a system that can recognize that when others do not follow their inner calling, there's a dissonance, and you feel that dissonance. You know when people are lying for themselves. And you also can see if they know they are lying for themselves, or if they are not conscious about their lying to themselves. But that has no effect upon you now. Other people can still play this game with themselves where they do not stand up for themselves. That's up to them. But what's up to you is your inner knowing, your inner calling. And have you stepped up to it? We know there's a lot of things at stake, so to speak. In the physical realms, you can lose friends or families, you can lose jobs, you can lose money, you can use all these things that you use to keep yourself safe and stabilized. But it is now time, really deep down inside of yourself, to feel, sense that inner knowing that can call your next step to be taken into action. You can be calm while following your own path. Even when you see people fall away, people you love, you can still love them, but if they cannot follow your frequency, they cannot follow your frequency and they must fall away. It doesn't mean that they are lost. No, they just need to find their own frequency and you cannot do it for them. They must find their own frequency, just as you have. And finding your own frequency, that is your calling right now. And that includes not only knowing, but also acting upon it. So you can stand tall also tomorrow and say, this is me. And then perhaps for a time being, you could have difficulty finding people who are as clean in their frequency field as you. And it can feel lonely. Because before, it was easier to stir up your own emotions and feelings and thought forms, and therefore make a chaotic system that you could easier go into resonance with those around you that are also in dissonance, because many people are in dissonance. But you want to be fine-tuned, and therefore you must take each step calmly but firmly, based upon your inner knowing, without explaining, without fighting, without making anyone wrong. You just make yourself right. But if you feel out of alignment with yourself, how does that feel? That feels like in some kind of insecurity that you perhaps try to cover with being even more firm. And that's an imbalance. You must know how it feels to be in alignment with yourself. And that is in fact a very soothing, very calm, very refreshing, very new, and very playful energy to be in. When you find that spot in yourself in each moment where you are firmly, calmly, playfully, joyfully ready to take each step at a time, just one step at a time, in alignment with your own inner knowing, without making anyone wrong. Other people have their own journey in finding their frequency, but you dedicated to your own frequency. That's where your peace lies. And we say, and we mean it deeply, it is not hard. It is easy. The easy thing is that you know what you know when you know it. The hard thing is, and then you are not in alignment when it gets hard. The hard thing is when you try to go around it to fit in, to not act upon it. Because when you follow your own inner knowing, you know what to do. And of course it is sometimes necessary to go through periods of time where things fall apart. But it's not hard. It's just what it is. So don't try to fit in. And don't try to make others fit in. Just don't try anything. Just be you. And let others be what they are, in alignment or not. It's easy to be you then. It's easy to know your next step. And in fact, it is easy to do what is necessary if you are ready to let things crumble. All things crumbling is just ready to be born anew. Step into your own life force. Be ready to die, to be reborn. It's beautiful, rebirthing yourself every moment. We say that again. Rebirthing yourself every moment. Knowing yourself even better every moment. Being ready to let things crumble. Be ready to let yourself crumble. And know that you will rise, reborn again for every new moment. Warrior woman, man or female, male or female, you are the warrior of life and death, always reborn. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful you. That is life. Congratulations. You have done it. That was the fourth card. I, of course, hope that you chose a card that made sense for you. It's timeless, so whenever you need to hear something, what you need to hear right now, go back, pick again, perhaps there's a different message. So for now, I will go out into life. Enjoy.